friends. Welcome to Seasons of Hustle Bootcamp Day 5. I can't believe we're on Day 5 already. So today we're going to talk about Chapter 4, the Hustle Attitude. And there's 3 main words in this chapter that we're going to talk about today. So that will be consistency, mindset, and focus. And you may be thinking, we've already talked about a few of these things, but you will keep hearing a lot of the same information in different ways and a lot of the same information over and over again because it's that important. So we're going to start with consistency first, and that's going to be our first topic for tonight. So the biggest key to success in a business is consistency. So the first few questions I want to ask you guys tonight is, are you being consistent with using your products daily? Are you a product of the product? Are you being consistent with planting seeds of wellness with others? Are you consistently following up with others? So think about the things you're doing consistently and give yourself a pat on the back for that. And if there's things you aren't doing consistently, I want you to write those down and figure out how you can be more consistent with those items. Consistent little steps often grow your business stronger than some of the big dramatic things that we do. So yes, I can do a big, huge event with 20 or 40 people, or I can consistently talk to people every day. Sometimes that little bit every day, consistently over time, will add up to more for my business than the one big, huge event. So think about that as you're planning your calendar and trying to make things consistent. Darren Hardy wrote The Compound Effect, and The Compound Effect is one of my favorite books that talks about consistency. And this was a book that we were given at Gold Retreat, 2017, I believe is the year. And that is a book that any of the corporate leaders that you talk to at Young Living will ask you if you have read. So what that book explains is the principle of how small steps put you on a path. And as long as you keep taking those small steps in the same direction, you're going to end up eventually at your destination or your end goal. So the analogy for me that makes me think about consistency the most is when you compare it to like weight loss. So a lot of people, especially at the beginning of the year, they're like, I want to lose 50 pounds this year. And in January, they're doing all the things and they lose 5 pounds. And at the end of the month, they're disappointed and they're sad and they're like, it should have been a 10 or 12 and it's only a 5. And they get discouraged within themselves. But think about it. If you consistently lost 5 pounds every month for 10 months in a row, that would be your 50 pounds in a 10-month time frame instead of the year that you said that you wanted to do it. So what if you consistently enrolled 2 people per month or 1 person per month? So 1 person per month would be 12 new members in your organization. 2 new members would be 24. And what if you trained those under you to consistently do those same things? So that's where Help 5 comes in, and we'll talk about that more in depth later in boot camp. But Help 5 is something that is going to be huge in your business if you set your focus on that. So part of today's homework is I want you guys to go to the Seasons of Hustle website, and I've put the link in the description of this video, and I want you guys to download the stats tracker that we have. If you have Oily Tools, you'll be able to go to last month's numbers, and you'll be able to click the stats, which is like a little arrow that looks like it's going up, and it will give you all of your stats. If you don't have Oily Tools yet, that's something you can look into, or you can actually pull some of that information from your virtual office. So my challenge to you is to go back and write down your October, November, and December stats, and then consistently write down your stats for this entire year. Because I want you to see where you are consistently growing. Is your ER percentage consistently growing by 0.5% or 1% per month? Is your number of new members consistently growing? Are you consistent with enrolling new members yourself? So you can see the trends in your stats and see where you're being consistent and where you need to be more consistent. So it's a really, really helpful tool. And when we talk about the virtual office and some of those tools later on, we'll go more in depth with that. But I think this is something that will really help you grow your business in 2019, especially going back and looking at the last 3 months of 2018. So if you see a trend in 2018 where that number was going down, then you know that's where you need to focus and where you need to be consistent for the next 60 or 90 days. So how can you be more consistent? For me, I write things on my calendar, or I will set reminders on my electronic calendar to be like, hey, I need to do this. So what I do for my stats tracker is I do that on the 6th of every month. And you're thinking, well, why do it on the 6th? Because at the end of the month, you should be able to do it on the 1st. So actually, Young Living's month end is the 5th of the following month at midnight, because they have to have time to process things that was sent through Diamond Support and things like that. So you know on the 6th of each month, that is your final numbers. Those numbers will not change. And you may not have noticed a change if you have a smaller organization, but as your organization gets bigger and there's lots of things going on, those numbers can change. So we actually have people who rank on the 2nd or the 3rd for the month previous because there was an issue with an ER order or something like that. So that's what I do to consistently track my numbers. And just one example of a way that you can be consistent. And so the next thing I want to talk to you about tonight is mindset. So yes, we've talked about mindset some already, but this is so important. I wanted to give you a few more resources and a few more tips to get in that mindset and some ways to help you focus as well. So stepping out of your comfort zone and having a positive mindset, you're going to hear over and over and over again. So I want to share my story with you tonight about how I stepped out of my comfort zone and changed my mindset about something, and it dramatically changed the face of my business. Okay, so I want to know in the comments who is terrified of Facebook Live, or who hates it, or who's like, I'm not doing that. Okay, I know some of you were like, because guess what? I used to think that Facebook Live was the devil. Like, I could not do it. What if I said the wrong thing? Or what if I said too many ums? Or what if I repeated myself? Or what if nobody watched? Or what if they made fun of me? Like, I had all these things that were about me. So my mindset was focused on me and not about what was going to be coming on the other end. So I'm going to take you back to when I hit silver in Young Living. 6 weeks later, I was on a trip to a conference when I released my first book, Hope Comes in Pieces, which is our story about our daughter, to speak at an autism conference. And on the flight back from there, my life forever changed. When I stepped off that flight, I lost 80% of my hearing. So I was really having issues communicating with the world. I didn't understand how to communicate with others because I couldn't hear them, and I was having to say all the time, and I was confused, and my head hurt because of just trying to process everything and everything being so new. So when you go from being a completely hearing person to 80% loss in one day, that's a really dramatic change on your body. This was 6 weeks after I hit silver, you guys. So I could have let this be the excuse that stopped me from continuing my business. So even before this had happened, my mentor, Sandy Boudreau, she's a Royal Crown Diamond in Young Living, and my best friend, Jessica Smith, had been telling me, you need to do Facebook Live. We love hearing you talk. You so need to do a Facebook Live. And I'm like, no, never. I can't do that. There's no way. So they were gently pushing me. But then when that happened with my hearing loss, they're like, okay, girl, you're just going to have to step out of your comfort zone, and you are going to have to do this thing. What's the worst that could happen? And so we talked about those things, all those excuses that you heard me telling before. The worst thing that can happen is you can delete it if it's absolutely horrible. Okay, I have been on Facebook Live, and Mia has interrupted and said the darndest things, and those are some of my most shared videos. I do cooking videos now, and those have over 1,000 views every time. So if you would have looked at me a few years ago and told me, like, you'll be doing a boot camp and going on Facebook Live every day for 30 minutes training Team Young Living, I would have laughed in your face. So I hope you guys are glad that I stepped out of my comfort zone for Facebook Live, because if not, this boot camp wouldn't be existing right now. So the mindset change happened at Danny Johnson. The hearing loss helped push me out of the comfort zone. But I don't want you guys to have to go through a major thing to help push you out of your comfort zone. Now I love getting out of my comfort zone. If it's uncomfortable, that means I need to do it. So if I'm scared of something, I've got to do it. So find something you are fearful of each week and do it. Is it reaching out to someone? Is it doing a Facebook Live? Think about it. Think about when you are on Facebook Live, sharing your story. Just share your story. Why do I do what I do? Why am I passionate about these products? So I just wanted to come on and share my story. Tell people your story compliantly and share why you love the products. Do you know how many people are watching that you don't know may be interested? My enrollment shot through the roof when I did this, because I would message people after the video that watched it or liked it or gave it a comment, and I would thank them for their time. So I would message them and say, "Hey Sally, thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy day to hop on." End of sentence. And that started an open line of communication with those people. So I wasn't being pushy. I knew they had seen my message. I was just connecting with them in a different way. So I want to know, what are you going to do this week to get out of your comfort zone? So the next thing I'm going to mention is something I want you guys to not get used to saying. I want to know how many of you feel stuck. Okay, stuck is a word that we're going to take out of our vocabulary. We are not going to speak life into that word, because if you keep saying, "I'm stuck, I'm only a star," or "I can't get past senior star," or my OGV is stuck at the same place it was last year," guess what? It's going to continue to be stuck. So we're not going to speak life into that. We're going to say, "I'm in the process of growing my OGV to XYZ. I'm in the process of whatever it is, whatever momentum you're wanting to give your business." But I want you to think about, if you feel that word stuck, and I want you to know it's not your upline, it's not your downline. Anytime you're in that position where you feel like your business is not growing in the way that you want it to, that's when you need to take a hard look at you. That may be hard for some of you to hear. It's hard to do that work when you feel like you're in that place, to try to figure out what it is about you that needs to change in that personal development aspect at that time. So spend a day and reflect on that and try to figure out what area of your life needs to be worked on. So that takes me into our focus, because we want to have consistency, mindset, and focus. That's the hustle attitude that we're talking about today. So we all lose focus in our business at some point, right? Our passion and determination to succeed is still there, but our focus just lacks sometimes. So we find ourselves putting the tasks that need to be done, like finding new prospects, which I actually don't like using the word prospects. I want to teach you guys to use the term future Young Living members, because when I changed my sheet of paper to say future Young Living members instead of prospects to me sounds salesy, and future Young Living members is speaking life into, these people are going to be a part of my team. So that's another way you can have that positive spin on just the little everyday things. But you'll find yourself not doing all of those things as much when you are lacking focus. You get in a rut. You feel like you have no idea how to get out of it. So who wants tips? Just 4 simple tips on how to get out of those ruts, because we all get in them sometimes. Okay, so the first one may surprise you, because this book is called Seasons of Hustle, right? Okay, so I'm getting ready to tell you that the first tool in resetting your focus is to take some time off. So you have to have time for yourself. You have to have time to rest and reset. You cannot put your foot on the gas pedal and push it forward 24/7, 365. You have to have a fresh mind. You have to have a fresh perspective. So taking a break is okay. It's normal that we will sometimes feel overwhelmed and that we need to reorganize and figure out what changes we want to make our business the most successful. So now I'm not talking about taking a 6-month hiatus or a 12-month hiatus, okay? Which if you need to do that because of some major reason, that is the beautiful thing about Young Living. You can do that. But I'm talking about a day, 2 or 3 days. I've taken as much as a month off. I think 6 weeks is the longest I ever had, and that there was a major issue going on in my life at that time that I couldn't do anything else but work on that. But I had built a sustainable business that allowed me to do that. And I talked to my upline and said, hey, can you help me with these tasks over the next few weeks? This is what I'm personally dealing with, and I need your help with this. So if you are going to take an extended period of leave, then please communicate with your uplines, and they are going to be happy to help you and help support you in your time of need. Now, don't just take 3 months off because you feel like it. Expect somebody else to do the work for you. These extended times are really if you have, a major issue in your life that you need to deal with. So in those days off, in your time of rest, that means no phone calls about Young Living. That means no checking your emails, no getting on Facebook Messenger, no looking for prospects. Just take a break, re-energize, re-motivate yourself, look at your vision board, and just reset your mind, okay? Number 2 of our 4 tools I'm going to give you tonight is write down your goals. And so we've talked about this, but our goals are our reason. So maybe your goals have changed since the last time you've written them down. If you're in this place that you need to refocus, when you write them down, you actually will achieve them more. If you're just thinking them and you never speak them out loud or you never write them down, it's harder for them to come to fruition. So seeing them on paper, seeing them on a vision board will make you work harder. So make sure that you have those things where you do see them. We have a huge, 4 foot by 5 foot whiteboard, and we actually have about 200 stickers on it that are the ULA stickers of all the different faith-filled, family, friends, fun, fitness, finance from our last retreat. And so we are using that as our vision board, and we are helping speak life into others' visions and goals, plus ours. Apologize if you can hear my little one. She's upset at the moment, but this is real life. That is the best thing about this business is I'm at home doing this at 8 o'clock at night with you guys. So, number 3, you need to allocate your time and be deliberate about where you're allocating your time. So maybe the reason you're losing focus is your schedule is a hot mess. Anybody else have the Hot Mess Express going on in their life and their calendars, okay? I'm the queen of the Hot Mess Express calendar. So if you don't have a clear schedule, you're going to be prone to procrastination, and you're going to put off the important task because it's easy to say, oh, I have to do this, this, and this. I don't have time for prospecting and looking for new members and finding those future diamonds in my team. I don't have time to do an ER class to teach my team about essential rewards because I have to go to the dentist. Okay, you can allocate your time where you can actually get those done. So reorganize your schedule, figure out what that looks like. Make sure there's time in your schedule for your 3 income producing activities. Okay, so you're going to hear this over and over and over. Enroll new members, get them on essential rewards, and teach them how to share. Okay, those are your 3 main IPAs. Those have to be in your calendar if you are doing this hustle and you're wanting to grow your business. So a proper schedule organized is going to be enough to fuel your passion and help you be on top of your game. We actually have a lot about organization in the book as well, so we'll be doing another video on all the tools and tips that we have for organization. The last tip that I have for you guys tonight, and if you guys have any questions, I also have just a few extra minutes that I can answer questions. If there's something through this point in boot camp that you guys want to know, go ahead and pop that in the comments below, and I'll answer it when I'm done with this tip. Okay, so number 4 is consider your business as a whole. Envision your business in the next couple of years. So write yourself a letter 4 years from now, 5 years from now. I like the 4-year mark because of the 4-year career. If you haven't read the 4-year career, I highly recommend reading that book. Do you want the business you have to last and sustain and grow? Do you want to see the sales keep rolling in year after year after year? Will this motivate you to stay focused? The idea that your business is going to stay running for years upon years upon years, I know is going to motivate me. Keep the fire burning, so to speak. You're going to be truly determined to succeed. If you're determined to succeed and you keep that passion and you keep that focus, you will get to it. You will get to your goal. So I encourage you to write those letters to yourself about what your life looks like 4 years from now and what you're glad you did. So maybe your letter says, this is, let's see, what year will it be? 2023. So you could be January 2023. Hello, this is Tara coming to you from January 2019. And I want to talk to you about the things that I'm doing in 2019 to get you to where you are today. And you are doing this today. And list out what you are doing at that point in 2023 and what fueled you to make those changes. So, hustle homework recap. You guys are going to read chapter 4. You guys are going to print out your stats tracker. You're going to do October, November, and December. And that will be posted at the top in a link as well. Now I'm going to answer just a few questions. Okay, so you keep hearing warm market versus cold market. Okay, so your warm market is the people that you know. So your friends, your family, your neighbors, the people that are in your everyday life. Cold market is people that you meet in the grocery store or strangers. So think about warm is people you know, cold is strangers is how I usually compare the two. So it's good to have both a list of warm market and cold market prospects. That's why I carry like samples in my bag for when I'm out at the store. Thieves cough drops, things like that are great to have. And then I purposely don't carry business cards. For cold market people, I get their contact information, which we'll talk about some more of those tips later in boot camp. Okay, so it looks like all the questions that were posted tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in to day 5, and I will see you tomorrow for day 6.